So that was a rapid chromatic warm-up exercise that I like to use. It's a great way of warming up the left hand and the right hand. You kind of get two in one with it. And it sounds a bit like Flight of the Bumblebee, but only in so much as it's highly chromatic in nature. But it sounds like but it's a great warm-up. So here it is slow. So I'll just do a few points here on why this is a good exercise to learn and how it can help you warm up, and a few different ways that you can practice it. So I'm going to start on D, on the G string, so on the 7th fret with my first finger. And the concept of this exercise is very straightforward really. Basically we're going to go up by one semitone and then back down. Then we're going to go up by two semitones and then back down by two semitones. By the way, we're not repeating any notes, so we're not repeating the D or the highest note that we reach. Then we're going to go up by three, back down by three, always returning to that D. Then up by four, up by five, 6, 7, then the 8th one I'm doing on the top E string, 9, 10, 11, 12, which takes us back to the octave. So this exercise is good for a few things, particularly in getting good synchronicity between the right hand, the picking hand, and the left hand, because we're using all four fingers in the left hand pretty much constantly due to the nature of the chromatic scale. This forces us to use certain fingers in conjunction with each other that maybe we don't use so often, namely these three, without the aid of the first finger. Because, you know, how often are you really going, you know, you'd go, or equally something like, you'd go. But because of this exercise being chromatic, we're quite often using these three together without the first finger. We are still going to the first finger, but there are isolated moments where it's just these three on their own. And most people don't have a great deal of dexterity between the middle finger and the third finger, or between the middle finger and the little finger. So it's really good for building dexterity between those weaker combinations of fingers. It's also a good exercise and warm-up for the right hand, because it's essentially just constant alternate picking. And as you up the speeds incrementally, you'll find by the time you get to the higher tempos, so 180, 190, 200, 210, it's actually quite hard to keep the picking consistent and at speed for the length of the full exercise, because it's actually quite a long exercise if you're constantly doing that the whole time. So start slow, give your arm time to warm up, let the muscles relax and build up strength and stamina, and then if you up it by maybe 5, possibly 10 each time, that's a really good way to warm up your wrist and your right hand if you're doing a gig or recording that involves a lot of heavy picking. So there are a few different ways you could practice this too. I like to use a clean sound because it really exposes any weaknesses in your playing when doing the exercise, particularly if you're choking notes or not playing certain notes cleanly. The clean channel really exposes that. You could also play it very muted. Al Di Meola approach. You could do it more open. You could try playing it with different dynamics, which is something a lot of people struggle with, especially at high tempos if you're picking every note, because you're trying so hard to play it cleanly and get the notes right. We often forget about the dynamics. So you could try it very soft. Or louder. Or you could try alternating dynamics whilst going through the exercise, which would force you to change your technique slightly as you're doing it, which is quite a challenge. Etc. So there we have it. I'm going to have another go at a couple of higher tempos and see if I can keep it clean and find where my breaking point is. Thanks for watching.